All right, congratulations. You are in 12.3. Great job. So let's do 12.3 video notes. 12.3 is all about trapezoids. Trapezoids, so this is how you spell trapezoid right here. Trapezoid. Okay. A trapezoid is a four-sided shape. Another word for shape is a polygon, so a four-sided shape or polygon. Okay. So a trapezoid has to have four sides, only four sides, and just like a parallelogram has two sets of opposite parallel lines, a trapezoid only has one set of opposite parallel lines. So let's draw some. So I'm going to draw two parallel lines, or one set parallel lines. And then I'm going to join them together with my other two lines. Okay, so this line right here and this line right here are parallel to each other, right? They can go on and on forever and they will never cross each other. But these lines right here are not parallel to each other because they will eventually cross at some point. If you continue those lines out from the shape, they will cross. So this would be a trapezoid because this four-sided shape only has one set of opposite parallel lines. Okay? All right. Another example of a trapezoid would be something that looks like this. We have our two parallel lines. We have a line going straight down, and then a slanted line. This is also a trapezoid because that bottom and that top line are parallel to each other, but the two side lines are not parallel to each other. So this would be an example. Now, a trapezoid can have a right angle just like that. Okay. Or it doesn't have to have a right angle, but that one just happens to. Okay. And then another example, I don't know, maybe I'll do like this. This would also be a trapezoid because, right, those two side lines, even though they're sort of slanted towards the same direction, one is more slanted than the other, so they will eventually cross if they continue out in space. Okay. So how do trapezoids relate to parallelograms? Trapezoids do, believe it or not, trapezoids do relate to parallelograms, and this is how we're going to determine the formula for the area of a trapezoid is how does it relate to parallelograms. Now we have our trapezoid right here. If we take this trapezoid and we make a duplicate of it, and then we flip it around, we can actually make a parallelogram with two identical trapezoids. So if I take this right here and I say, okay, I'm going to go this far out. Okay, this line is the same length as this line right here. Okay. And then I'm going to draw a line out like this. And that line, so this line is the same length as this line. Okay. And then I'm just going to join those two together with a line right here. So really all I did was I made an identical trapezoid and then flipped it around that way and stuck it to the side right there. And if you see this entire shape is a parallelogram. That entire thing is one parallelogram, like that. Okay. And so that means that two equal trapezoids make a parallelogram. So just like, remember we talked about in 12.2, you can take two identical triangles and make them into a parallelogram, but you can also take two identical trapezoids and make them into a parallelogram as well. This works for all different shapes of of trapezoids, okay? So if we were to take a trapezoid that looked like this, where it had okay, this would be our right angle. If we take this and we make a duplicate and we put it right there, we can go like this, where we have that, and then like that. So we just made a duplicate and flipped it around. So we have our right angles. And then that entire thing is a parallelogram, just like that. Okay. Okay, so let's figure out what our formula would be, or our equation for a trapezoid. Okay, how are we going to find the area of a trapezoid? Okay, so let's think about this. We want to get to, we know what the area of a parallelogram is. So we're going to use what we know about the parallelogram to find the area of a trapezoid. So we're going to call we have two base measurements, okay? We have this base measurement, B1, and this base measurement, B2. Okay, I'm going to shade those in on my picture. I'm going to make it kind of bigger. Let's see if this will work. I'm going to do, this is my B1. That's not very dark. Let's use, there we go. It's my B1. Okay. And then I also have, because remember, we are flipping this that way. Okay, I'm also going to label my B1 on this one. So there's my B1 right there. Okay, and now let's label the B2. I have a B2 right here, and then I have another B2 right here. Okay, so this parallelogram, the area of this parallelogram is the base times the height, which our entire base is this big, and then our height is right here. So we have our base and our height, okay? But we don't know what our base is. We know what our base 1 is and what our base 2 is. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this, this right here, we are going to add together B1 and B2. We're going to say B1 plus B2. Okay, because you can see how I took, this is B2 added to B1. Okay. And then we got to multiply that by what? Remember, a parallelogram is the base times the height. So we're going to take that entire thing and multiply it by the height. Okay. Okay, now I only care about the trapezoid, so like this area. That's the only area I want. And down here for the parallelogram, that's too much area. All the area I care about is this area right here. Okay? So in order to do that, I have to take my B1 plus B2 times H, and I have to divide it by 2. I'm going to take this entire thing, say divide it by 2. And that is going to get us our area of our trapezoid. Okay, so really quickly, let's do some practice problems, okay? We have our formula here, and we're going to practice this with two trapezoids, okay? We have our, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to write the formula. H B1 plus B2 all over 2. Okay, and then we're going to substitute all of our numbers in. Okay, A equals. Now our H is our height, which is that dotted line that's a 90-degree angle from the base. So that's 5. Okay, times B1. Right, remember B1, B2. So our B1 is 4. We're going to add our B2, which is 6. And then that entire thing we're going to divide by 2. Okay, so then that means our area would be what? 4 plus 6 is 10. 10 times 5 is 50. 50 divided by 2 is 25 inches squared. Okay, that's our area. Okay, let's do our second one. Just like before, we're going to write our formula. A equals H times B1 plus B2 all over 2. So then our area equals, let's plug in H. Our height in this case, remember, is going to be this line right here, because that line is perpendicular to the base with a right angle. So that's 5.2. And then we're going to plug in B1, which is 2.5 plus 4.5, all divided by 2. Okay, which would get us, here we have, so 2.5 plus 4.5 is 7, and then 7 times 5.2 is 36.4, and 36.4 divided by 2 is 18.2. So that's our area for that.